Hey y'all, so this is going to be episode 2 of After Work Chat. I just got off work and it's dark. I'm in a Walgreens parking lot right now. So I get the question sometimes about, is being a Med-Aide worth it? You know, taking the time to become a Med-Aide, and I would say it definitely is. But I would also say, don't get, and this is my personal opinion, don't get content with being a Med-Aide. Or don't get too comfortable with being a Med-Aide for too long. I would say it's worth it, definitely, because this is for North Carolina. I don't know about other states, because every state is not exactly the same with, like, the different requirements that you have to become a Med-Aide. But for me, all I had to do was take a 3-week class. I took a 3-week class at my local community college, and the class only met, I think, 2 to 3 times a week. No, we met on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 3 weeks. So that's nothing, Then you do have to I had to take a state test, and then to officially become a Med-Aide, I had to pass that state test. And if you don't pass the first time, don't feel bad. I actually had to take the test 2 times. I will say that Med-Aide state test, to me, a lot of people say it's really easy. To me, it was very random. It just asked a bunch of random questions, in my opinion. With being a Med-Aide, you're not really taught. It's only a 3-week class. You're taught pretty much how to give the right medication to the right patient at the right time and the right dose and the right route. That's what they focus on in Med-Aide class. You're not really taught about the side effects of medicine and all the details about that kind of stuff. I'm sure that's what they teach in nursing school. But the Med-Aide class, like I said, you're focusing on making sure you're giving the right medication to the right patient. That's the main focus. But I would say it's definitely worth it, because especially if you're already a CNA, for one, being a Med-Aide will give you a break from being on the hall all the time. Being a Med-Aide, it could get busy too, depending on where you're working at, how many patients you have. Don't get me wrong, being a Med-Aide, it could be a little stressful sometimes if you are on a very heavy hall, and people love their pain medicine. A lot of patients, they love their pain medicine and stuff, and they be on, I want my Xanax. Where's my Xanax? Where's my pain pill? Where's this? Where's that? So you do, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I like being a Med-Aide. It's not as physically demanding as being a CNA. Like I said, there's not a lot. However, like, you know how there's a bunch of CNA positions available all the time? You could easily get a job as a CNA. There's Med-Aide positions, but I would say not as many as CNA. And with being a Med-Aide, there's not like as many full-time opportunities, I would say, versus like CNA. Like the place that I'm at now, this is one of the only places that I've seen that actually use full-time Med-Aides, meaning their Med-Aides work strictly on the cart. They don't ever have to go in the hall to where I do, because I'm not the, obviously the 2 other Med-Aides been there longer than me, so obviously, But I would say it's worth it, definitely. But however, unless like you retired and you just need a part-time job or something like that. But if you are, like, honestly, if you're young, don't get too comfortable being a Med-Aide. I would say go for hire. Go for hire. Get your Med-Aide. Get that under your belt, then go for something else that's higher. I wouldn't say, honestly, become a Med-Aide to be a Med-Aide for years and years to come. To be honest with you, aim for something higher. You work as a Med-Aide while you're in school, or if you're trying to start a business or whatever, but aim for something higher while you're working as a Med-Aide. Because one, Med-Aides only work in nursing homes. I'm not talking about med techs now. Med-Aides. That's really the only place you're going to be able to work at. You can only do so much as a Med-Aide. That is kind of nice, for Med-Aide. You don't have the responsibility of a nurse, but you kind of get a small taste of what it's like to be a nurse too with the med pass, because that's one of the major things that nurses do in nursing homes is pass out medicine. So you'll already have that skill under your belt to do a med pass. So if you're trying to be a nurse in the future, you'll have a high advantage, especially when you're doing clinicals. Well, at least when you're doing like the med pass, you'll have that on lock if you're already a Med-Aide. But aim for something higher if you can. Like I said, I know everybody's situation is different, but I would aim, if you can, aim for something higher. I don't want to be in a nursing home 5-10 years from now working. I'm sorry. I've been working in nursing homes for over 10 years now. I'm ready for a different, on and off for 10 years. I want something different. And that's the only place a Med-Aide can work as of right now, is nursing homes. So, and like I said, I want, nurses, they could work in so many different places. The hospital, clinics, plasma centers. They have to have a nurse at a plasma center. Dialysis. It's endless. You know what I'm saying? But with Med-Aide, you're very limited to just the nursing home. Now, if you're okay with that, then hey. But I want more. I don't want to be working in a nursing home until I retire. I just don't want. I want something different. I'm ready for a different work environment. So, yeah. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Especially if you're already a CNA. But like I said, honestly, if you can, I don't recommend getting too comfortable or getting too content with just staying at Med-Aide for the rest of your life. I wouldn't. Aim for something higher. Also, you do get a raise when you become a Med-Aide. You should be making more money. It depends on where you work at. Some places just do $1 raise. Some do $2, $3, $4. It just, depends. And not every nursing home uses Med-Aides. There are some nursing homes that don't even use Med-Aides. My PRN job that I only work every other Saturday and Sunday, they don't use Med-Aides. So keep that in mind. But there are a lot of nursing homes that do use Med-Aides. And I'll also say there are places that are better to work as a Med-Aide, and there are some that are not as good to work as a Med-Aide. For example, a year ago when I was working through agency, I would not work at that place as a Med-Aide ever again. Like, if they were open. They shut down, but if they was open, some places, the beat down places, kind of ghetto, unorganized places, they will try to have Med-Aides do stuff that they're not supposed to do. For example, insulin. Med-Aides cannot give insulin. I know it sounds crazy because med techs can, but Med-Aides, technically, we're not supposed to give insulin. So that's where the nurse comes in. And it's different things. I've seen a lot as a Med-Aide where the nurses, and it goes as far as the DON and stuff, trying to get you to do shit that you really ain't supposed to be doing. So just keep that in mind. Be careful about where you work as a Med-Aide. Try to find a good place to work at. For me, the place that I started out as a Med-Aide, they trained me for 3 weeks, and they did not rush me off training. And when I did get off orientation, I did feel pretty confident. Let me tell y'all, the very first day I became a Med-Aide, I didn't know I was going to train that day as a Med-Aide. So I took the state test. I passed it. And I was working second shift that day. I gave my results to the DON. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get you trained today." And I was nervous out of my mind because that was very new to me. I was nervous. I was excited, of course, but I was nervous out of my motherfucking mind. And the nurse that was training me, I think like one of my last days of training, she was like, "Okay, I see much improvement now," because my very first day, I was so nervous to even just open the cart and look through the medicine, and I was so nervous because when I'm starting something new, and that's normal when you start something new, especially like something as serious as giving out medicine, because that's a serious job, making sure people got their medicine, their right medicine. I was nervous as hell. But by my last day of training, she was like, "Okay, I feel confident. You got it now. So now I feel like I'm just rambling on. So yes, if you're thinking about becoming Med-Aide, definitely become one. But like I said, go for hire. Don't get your Med-Aide and then, okay, what's next? Nursing, respiratory therapy, x-ray, something that I wouldn't stay a Med-Aide. I wouldn't be too comfortable. Unless you know that you're okay with working in a nursing home for the rest of your life, then hey, you know, some people might like that. But for me, I'm ready to get out the nursing home. That's just like, the nursing home is the fastest way for me to get a job. It's so easy to get a nursing home job. But I'm ready to, you know, I want a different work environment, you know. But I'll get there one day. But y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and go home now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.